Money Heist Korea and how it's like really underappreciated. So first, I'm going to introduce my main topics. Like the first main topic I will take is what makes the original, like situated in Spain, so popular. Then I'm going to compare like the three following points among the Spain version and the Korean version, the universal appeal and the cultural adaptation that was done to make it like in the Korean one, the characters across cultures. Then we go to see how the critics evaluated these changes, and ultimately like we'll discuss either whether the remake is good. So now, what was the key to success? I would say like Money Heist, the original Money Heist, aka Casa de Papel, was one of the most successful Netflix series. Even though like most of the characters were heavy Latin America influence, that make certain appeal because all the characters has kind of different personalities. However, Money Heist Korea has really bad fame because it's somehow monotone under the public eye. But one point we're gonna discuss is like how this actually is not quite true, and how it actually honors the certain honors without copying, without lacking originality and respecting to the previous one. So now we're gonna see the universal appearance culture. For example, in the original one, it's more about contrasting about economic disparities. And they changed this topic for the Korean version to more of a political background among the tensions about North Korea and South Korea. And changes, for example, in the original one that they uses the mask of Salvador Dali. They changed it to the Hotel mask for the Korean version. So these key points like ensure that there is still like a quality product without losing, without resorting to only copy pasting. Another thing is the character across cultures. I think this is one of the key points because in the original one, because they were like from a myriad of countries like Argentina, Spain, Puerto Rico, it has a richness in characters, and this is one of the main points for the original one to have a bloom. In Money Heist Korean, most of them are South Korean, but they try to add a different dynamic. For example, most of them are not from the same places, are not from only Seoul, and they also integrated like refugees from North Korea as extra characters to make up for this richness in the interactions among different backgrounds. Now, how the critic reaction to these things, like according to Korean Young and Daily, that is a Korean magazine in 2022, when Casa de Papel Korean was released, it has actually quite a poor critic score. One mention was that it was victim to remake bias, especially like there is kind of a stigma that the remake cannot be as good as the original, and especially they fell like in 2 points, like lack of originality and straying too far away from the points. Like if we got to analyze these two a little further, we can see that can be one on the other, but cannot be too much of both. And I think most of this thing is like the resilience when you try to adapt and change the cultural background of one another. Like there is kind of like a critique about that make the general public harsher with this. So, in conclusion, money both like has are adaptation that has a resonance and can go across the borders and appeal to a global population to get attention. However, this adaptation also shows the challenges of adapting a previous work like to another to another narrative. It will be like the entry barrier to get as beloved as the original will be higher, even though it can be a product of the same quality. So that, these are my reference. Thanks for watching.